We're out here on the march from Selma to Montgomery, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk to the son of the woman who was one of the earliest people to go to jail in Selma in 1963, Mrs. Lillian Gregory, her 10th born child, Yohance. Hey, brother.
Peace, Maqubela. How you doing, man?
Fine, and he's carrying the torch too, as it is handed off from each organization every day here during the march from Selma to Montgomery. Tell us a little bit about what your mom went through, man. She was pregnant when she went to jail in Selma.
That's right. You know, so many people know the story of my dad, Dick Gregory, but don't realize that every step of the way she was standing with him. So in 1963, my dad was all over the country, and anytime he couldn't step in, he asked my mom to fill in for him. And so the call came from Selma. Now, of course, this was before the world knew about Selma. This was 2 years before Bloody Sunday. And yet my mother came down in the fall of 1963, 4 months pregnant, not just pregnant, but pregnant with twins, my twin sisters, and was arrested. Now, of course, when the word got out that not only Dick Gregory, but Dick Gregory's pregnant wife was arrested in Selma, you know, the Kennedy administration was embarrassed. So John called Bobby Kennedy, who was the Attorney General at the time, and he personally called down to my mother in the jail in Selma, begging her to come out, begging her to allow him to get her out. But she refused. She said, I will step out of this jail when all these sisters in here with me leave this jail. And so she ended up spending nearly 2 weeks in the jail in Selma, but did make sure that they got some proper food and drink while they were there for all of the sisters that were locked up with her. Mama Annie Pearl Avery was one of those that still marches with us today that was there in jail with my mother, and she tells me that story every time I see her.
That's right, and that's a powerful story. So you kind of out here marching in honor of your mom too. I know she'd be here now if she could.
Oh, would she? Would she? I was on the phone with her earlier, and she said, you know, let everybody know that she's here with us in spirit and can't wait to be back in Selma next year for the Jubilee.
Now, we have two descendants of great giants. One of the original organizers here in Selma, the person who first invited Dr. King here, was Amelia Boynton. Her nephew is here, Brother Elliot. What's up, brother?
How's it going, Mark?
He's an organizer with the Poor People's Campaign. Tell us what your thoughts are out here, and talk to us about your Aunt Amelia and the impact she had on you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the moment's heavy for sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of emotions going on right now. You know, I think one of the things that I think about today is the need to continue to push forward and to keep the struggle on for a season, for a sustained long season. You know, I think one of the things that I always think about is that both my great aunt Aunt Amelia and her husband Sam Boynton, they were organizing in Selma in Dallas County decades before Selma became nationalized, decades before Selma became internationalized. And it really was the sustained season of registering voters, talking about the economic situations within the South, within Selma. But I think what people need to understand is that they didn't stop when legislation failed. They didn't stop when Jim Crow reared its ugly head out. They didn't stop when a couple senators or a filibuster was stopping them. They kept on pushing, they kept on pushing because they knew it was a movement. It was a movement that needed to nationalize the issues, that needed to build power and to impact policies and elections. And so that's what I'm doing today. I'm continuing that legacy and also tying the voting piece to the economic piece, because a lot of people don't also realize that my great aunt, not only was she one of the original foot soldiers and a leader in the Selma voting rights campaign, but she also took that energy and was one of the original organizers in the Poor People's Campaign in 1968, and she was there at Resurrection City. She talks about that plenty of times in her writings and in her speeches of being in D.C. and highlighting the economic situations across the country, because she knew that voting rights and economic rights was connected. And so that's what I'm bringing today is honing in that, and that's why we have so many young folks here today. We have our movement elders, we have our seasoned elders, we have all of our brothers and sisters that are movement babies, right?
Yeah.
that continue the work today, and so that's why I'm fighting.
One movement baby's holding the camera. This is Connie Tucker's daughter.
That's right.
Holds the camera. Great Connie Tucker. And while we've been speaking of elders, Mama Faya Rose just joined us. We're on Highway 80. How you feel?
Feeling okay. Ain't nothing like the music to lift the soul even when your feet are tired.
That's right.
Our feet is tired, but our soul is rested. How many? So usually every 5 years we march. We would have done it in 2020, right? That would have been the plan, but COVID thing. When folks, the last time we had Jubilee, it was literally the eve of COVID. Like everything shut down as soon as the Jubilee was over in 2020. But we're doing it now because of the urgency of the moment, right?
Yeah, we've had at least 2 or 3 times we've had these marches as a protest for voting rights. At least 2 or 3 other times that when it wasn't on the anniversary, 5th anniversary.
Yeah. So
and then
folks,
we had 2 freedom rides, remember?
That's right. They had freedom rides. That's
all the
right.
way to DC.
That's right. So folks, we doing the 54 miles to Montgomery. This is the first day. Good to have our family out here with us. Glad all of you are here with us. Say something.
Black Power, y'all. See y'all in Montgomery. Fight for the right to vote. It's an ongoing effort.
What would your mom say if she was here?
Organize, organize. Let's move it, y'all. Don't get tired. Let's work, let's work, let's work.
That's Holy Mother. That's Connie Tucker's daughter, y'all. She's out here with us, too. We're marching in her mom's memory. Me and her mom did a lot together. God bless her.
Okay.